Hello, this is Dr. Jim Gilkey coming to you from the Learningverse. I want to talk today about just-in-time training. What it is, what it isn't, when to use it. And specifically, I'm going to apply it to leadership training, what we talk about as just-in-time or not at all. And what do I mean by that? Let's start off with some basic statistics. 83% of organizations believe it's important to develop their leaders at every level. Makes sense. But only 5% of businesses have implemented leadership development at all levels. So one of the issues we're facing is most leadership training is applied at the highest levels, not throughout the organization or the structure. 48% of companies view the company's leadership as high quality. So that means 52% don't think we have high quality leadership. And this is really important, 61% of leaders want just-in-time training, or, as we say, learning in the flow of work. Why do they want that? It's obvious they have to be trained. So why do they want this just in time? Why aren't they using or attending or completing the more traditional approach? And by traditional, I mean you have to sit down and do pre-work. It could be e-learning modules. Then I have to go to class for 2 days, whatever the length may be. Why aren't they going to do that? They want to be better leaders. We know that leadership's important. We know that 52% don't think it's high quality in their organization. Why won't they do that? We have found at S4 NetQuest, there's basically 3 reasons why these leaders won't complete what we consider to be a traditional leadership training program. 1, they don't value it. And why don't they value it? Because when they attend these various types, whether it's an e-learning module, classroom, etc., it isn't helping them. They can't really see what are the proposed outcomes. How's that going to help me? How can I apply that? Because traditionally, there's not a lot of application. It's a lot of content. You may take a test at the end. They don't value it. That's one reason why leaders don't want to go, leave work, and attend traditional training. The training isn't effective. That's a big one. So even if they take the time to leave their job and do the training, it just simply isn't effective. Again, memorization of facts, quizzes, etc. No application of knowledge. And the third reason that we see that leaders won't attend traditional training is time. And that might be the number one issue that leaders face. I simply don't have time to leave and do the required training. And when you couple this time issue with the fact they may not value it or the training isn't very good, success is fleeting. So what are we going to do? Well, as we talked about earlier, 61% of leaders want it just in time in the workflow, the just-in-time training that we talked about earlier. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you a simple model that we have used quite effectively. You can vary this model or you can use it as is, but this construct is, we have found, highly successful, and it uses our impact learning methodology. First of all, a micro mod, and I'm talking about a 2.5-minute self-paced learning module that you're going to complete just prior to what activity you're about to undertake. So now what I want to do is actually look at an example of how we can utilize just-in-time training to help these leaders develop leadership skills. This particular example is going to be about critical conversations. You can use the same model that I'm proposing here for any of the types, or I should say most of the types of leadership skills you're trying to develop in the flow of work. So what are you going to do first? Again, critical conversations. Give me a quick 2.5-minute micro mod on what a critical conversation is, what are the key things, be compassionate, be alert, be receptive, those things. Very short, 2.5 minutes. Then have them do a quick application exercise. An example of that would be, the major concepts of a critical conversation. Watch this quick video that shows a leader having a critical conversation, and let's judge that. What did they do well? What didn't they do well? So quick application exercise after the micro mod. Again, this is all our impact learning stuff. Now let's give them tools. A tool to prepare for the conversation, a tool to help them conduct it, and then some way to reflect on or improve that particular critical conversation. Then we're going to take all of that and we're going to actually do one. We call them structured field experiences. I'm actually going to have a critical conversation with one of my direct reports. Again, I'll use the tool to prepare and conduct it. And then what's really important at the end is somehow to either reflect or get feedback on how that went. So the final tool we would give is fill out this quick survey. How did it go? What went well? What didn't? What would you change? And the tools we've created automatically email that to your manager, and then you can reflect on that with them, and they're going to give you feedback on how to make it better. So again, this concept of taking leaders out of the flow, it's not highly effective right now, especially when you use the traditional approach. They don't want it. They want to stay at work and learn in the flow. So again, micromod with a quick application exercise. Tools are very important. Then I can just grab that tool right before I'm getting ready to prepare. I can prepare the structured field experience, conduct it, and then reflect on it. All of this takes a very short period of time, very highly effective in the workflow, and we don't have to worry about that traditional approach of taking them out of the workflow for a day or days on end.